Hi, I'm Stephanie. If you want to have a great ride, the first step is to make sure your motorcycle is in tip-top condition for the journey on or off-road. So today, we're going to talk about your pre-ride inspection, which is something you should do before every ride, whether it's a trip to the store or a cross-country journey. It only takes a few minutes and it's well worth the time. There's a simple acronym to help remember the process. It's called TCLOCS. T is for tires, C is for controls, L is for lights and electronics, O is for oil and other fluids, C is for chassis, and S is for stands. Let's start with the T, tires. You want to make sure you have the right air pressure in your tires. The correct pressure is listed in your owner's manual. You also want to check your tread depth to make sure you have plenty of rubber for good traction. While you're doing this, check for wear, weathering, uneven seating, and bulges and embedded objects. You also need to check your spokes for tightness. If you have cast wheels, make sure to check the rim for cracks and dents. Finally, you want to grab the wheel and check for play to make sure your bearings are in good shape. Okay, on to C, controls. Check your clutch, front brake, rear brake, throttle, and shifter to make sure everything is operating smoothly. Also, inspect the cable condition to make sure everything looks good. L is for lights and electronics. Turn your main switch to on and check your headlamp, high and low beam, front left and right turn signals, and rear left and right turn signals. Brake lights and horn. This is also the time to check your system lights on the dash for ABS and traction control. When you start the bike up, the lights will be flashing. You'll need to ride the bike a short distance to ensure the lights stop flashing. O is for oil and other fluids. The correct procedure to check these are outlined in your owner's manual. On the Harley-Davidson Pan America, you want to start by checking your coolant level, which needs to be done when the bike is cold. Make sure the vehicle is on level ground. Remove the coolant plug and check the dipstick to make sure the level is on the max line. If it's low, add the recommended antifreeze coolant until it reaches the max line. It's easy to check the brake fluid level by inspecting the level on the front and rear brake reservoirs. The front reservoir is here, and the rear reservoir is here. Make sure the level is above the minimum mark on the side of the reservoir. Now it's time to move on to oil. To check the Harley-Davidson Pan America's oil level, you first need to warm up the bike. You can do this by riding around for about 5 minutes at a moderate speed, or you can let the bike idle for about 10 minutes on the side stand. Once the bike is warmed up, turn the engine off and rest the bike on its side stand. Remove the filler plug, wipe off the dipstick with a rag, reinsert, and tighten it. Remove it again and check the level. Make sure you are reading the side of the dipstick labeled side stand. It needs to register between the full hot and add 1 quart levels on the dipstick. Now we're on to C for chassis. Check your frame, steering head, and swing arm for any cracks and dents. And finally, S for stands. You want to make sure your stands are operating smoothly and that they fully retract with the spring holding them firmly in place. Okay, let's review. T is for tires, C is for controls, L is for lights and electronics, O is for oil and other fluids, C is for chassis, and S is for stands. TCLOCS. It's easy to remember, and once you've done it a few times, you'll have it down so it'll only take a few minutes. And then you'll be ready to ride and have a fun day out there on the roads and trails. And as always, enjoy the ride.